Hello and welcome to Building Occupancy and Facility Management. My name is Wes Menner, and I'm an industry professional who worked in industrial construction for 7 years prior to my current role as the facility manager for the LWCC office building here in the heart of Baton Rouge. We are a 166,000 square foot office building that has recently gone through a top to bottom $35 million renovation throughout the building. I was brought in as the facility manager during the design and planning stage and as the lead during the construction and renovation process. During the planning phase and throughout the project, building occupancy and the comfort of our tenants, employees, and guests was the primary consideration throughout the construction. Building occupancy is far more than just the consideration of how many people can fit in a building based on the fire marshal's calculations and required limits set by permits and statutes. Indeed, building occupancy goes far beyond just the number of people in the building. Building occupancy is affected by the layout of the floors, the installation and layout of the furniture, and the ability of the office workers and occupants to do their job on a daily basis and do it comfortably and effectively. Building occupancy is not a consideration given once the construction is complete or the renovations are done. No, building occupancy is something thought about in the planning phase and the design phases. Well before the first shovel even touches dirt, space management planning, configuration of space, and space utilization are all ideas and concepts thoroughly fleshed out by designers, contractors, and in cases where it's done right, the facility managers are involved as well. Proper allocation of space is important because facility expenses are often apportioned according to space allocation. Inequitable allocation among departments may be deliberate or an obvious error by the facility manager. Regardless, it is a fiscal and political problem. Allocation is an extremely complex process that requires excellent record keeping, cost accounting, a good allocation process, and constant updates. And that's where space management planning comes in. Without a well-designed and implemented space management plan, your building can feel cramped or even trapped, making your occupants and their guests uncomfortable and unable to do their job in a very effective manner. When it comes to this process for occupancy, there are basic planning elements that contribute to the facility manager's ability to manage space effectively within existing parameters and to forecast efficient utilization. The basic considerations are usually the amount of space available and the time frame for the availability, the type of spaces available and the general condition and limitations of the architecture or construction, the configuration of the space, which could be the dimensions, the square footage, the volume, the shape and or the location, the utilization of the space, including specific activities and necessary support functions, and how much space is actually there to utilize. One of the challenges of today is the rapidly changing technology and the pace in which it changes and directly affects how we work and where we work. Because of this, how much space is needed may be more difficult to determine with the changing work patterns and designs, especially in a post-COVID world. Space standards are extremely helpful in this area, but with changing from assigned workstations to adaptable work areas or completely unassigned workstations and work from home, this decision becomes more difficult as time passes. Standards are still possible, but they change according to function and as needed for the job. As seen in the renovation of our building and many others, a lot of employees are working from home or in satellite offices nowadays, and some in anytime, anywhere virtual spaces. Those who are working in a central location are more often doing so in a team mode. So collaborative space has become a higher priority than individual assigned spaces as they were in the past. The programming and planning response to each of these alternatives is different and puts an unprecedented emphasis on space planning, programming, and management. Also, due to a large amount of outsourcing and downsizing, many facility managers are becoming much more experts in consolidating spaces and planning for space disposition. When space management planning is done right and done well and implemented into the building, it leads to great utilization of the space and comfortable employees who can do their jobs effectively and efficiently, and most of all, comfortably. And as everybody knows, a comfortable employee is a happy employee, and a happy employee is a great thing. I hope you've enjoyed this video. This has been Building Occupancy and Facility Management. Thank you for your time, and have a wonderful day.